This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
The Kingdom of East Anglia saw the birth of their greatest son, an Anglo-Saxon warrior destined to be a champion for the ages and a national treasure for all time.
Today we're going to be looking at a game that I've done a live playthrough twice. I did one with Tina, I did one and I kind of goofed it up because I hadn't played it in a while. And it's kind of hard to play solo and keep everything straight, but it is such a fantastic game. I'm actually going to fix some of the things that I did wrong in this video, believe it or not. But I really think that between this and the expansion, this is turning out to be probably one of my favorite entry-level war games I've played in a long time, and Blitzkrieg is fantastic. Why bother, rambling on like I normally do? Why don't we go on the table and check this out? Alright, now, I am not going to explain every rule, but I really want to show you a couple things here, okay, especially with this little bit of a masterpiece of a game. You could play this solo, which is unbelievable. You're going to be pulling these chits on a solo game, but I'm going to just explain everything real quick. You're going to have German forces and British forces in each one of these bags, okay, and you're going to pull out 3. Now, you're going to have an overlay that's going to keep everything really, you want to keep everything hidden, except when you're playing in the solo game. Now, you'll have these overlays and they'll explain everything inside what all these chits do. You have land forces, you have navy forces, you have air forces, you have generals and admirals. Remember, air and sea. And then you're going to have these special chits. We'll talk about those in a little bit. What's going to happen is you're going to have 3 chits behind this little thing here, and you don't want to show the other player because you are secretly going to put them, not secretly, but on your turn you're going to put them in one of these spaces. Now there's a whole bunch of symbols here, and we'll talk a little bit about those each time. What you're going to want to do is when you put something down, and this is called a campaign and this is a theater, okay, this area, Eastern Europe, is a theater. So for instance, we have a navy chit. You can only put the navy chits on the sea, which is blue. You can put any kind of ground chit also on on the brown area, and you can put an airplane on either one because it's either air or sea. This here, where it's split in half, you can either put a ground unit or a naval unit. Now, once you place that unit, you're going to move this little dial over to the right, because obviously this is the British side. You're going to try to get it all the way here so you can close it out and get all the points. It's not that easy though. What happens is as you fill these in, and your foe also puts down things such as, we'll put down an admiral here. You're going to add this up, okay? And obviously, the British have 3, okay? Because this is the way this would go, actually. Because it would be 2, and you're going to do this in succession, and every time they put one down, it's going to go the other way. But with everything all told out here, as you can see, at the end of a couple turns here, what would happen is that it would be 3-1. So they would get the victory points, okay? So the British would get 2 victory points and the German would get none. How do you win the game? The first person to 25 wins. But if you're the Germans and you're the first one to 25, and of course the British are close, they do get one last turn because the Germans do go first. The neat thing about this is that there's also abilities that are going to play into this, okay? You're going to have to be very strategic on how you're going to place these things. You can only close out a theater at a time. Once you close out a theater, then you're able to go to the next theater. But these abilities do all kinds of different things. And industrial means you get to pull an extra chit, because after you use a chit, you're going to replace it behind your little shield here. But This particular one is going to allow you to grab more, so you would actually have 4 in-house. Industrial here is what that's going to do is that's going to be research. You're going to take one of these random research ones and put it into your bag, okay, to draw out later. These have very special and high-powered things, like, you know, as you see, this tank has a 4. You can have a nuclear bomb, which is really devastating, because that's going to swing the pendulum quite a bit, and then you're going to be able to get these war victory tokens, war victory points. That's what you're ultimately looking at, is closing these out. If you're able to put it here, you're going to get victory tokens right off the bat, as you can see, but you run the risk of not getting big points. As you can see, you want to be able to move this enough where you can collect these bigger points down here, which is going to help you on your fast track to victory. As you can see, 5, 5, 6. Yeah, you may get 2 victory points here, but the payoff at the end isn't as big. And winning the Southeast isn't as big as winning Western Europe, but it's a tug of war, and it's constantly going back and forth. Playing against the AI is really interesting, because you're going to be using this die, and you're going to start off by actually giving them some points right off. You're going to roll for each one of these areas, and it's going to move a certain amount depending on the difficulty. And each turn, what you're going to do is you're going to use one of these chits, and that is going to dictate where you're going to play and how you're going to play your chits. You're actually going to have an open face hand where they're going to have 5, and it doesn't matter if you see yours, because basically you're playing against yourself. So you don't need the little thing behind here. But it's good to keep on hand because it explains everything that's going on. The solo game plays great. It also comes, there's also an expansion that will be out in April, and I'm telling you right now, this is fantastic, because the way this works is that Japan enters the fray. Now, what it's saying is that, guess what? The Germans won the war. And yes, there's a whole bunch of different areas, but you're only going to be starting on Boston, Jacksonville, Honolulu, and Seattle. And every time you close out an area, you're going to get a bonus as you're going to work your way down to another area to try to close that out. Again, the ultimate victory is 25 points. But there is some glory in here too. Because not only that, but it's the Germans versus the Japanese, and they got Godzilla, my boy. A couple extra chits that are going to be in here, and as you can see, the same amount of figures that you would have. This is a fantastic game that just plays in anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. Probably around 30 minutes your first time playing, but I'm telling you, once you get going with it, it is a fantastic experience, and I love this game, and I highly suggest it. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts on Blitzkrieg. I mean, this is just great. I mean, you could probably see about 1 million videos of this and get the gist of it and so forth and so on. But I think adding in the expansion, the solo play, all the things that you can do with this, and how it's nice and neat, and it's in front of you, it's smart, it plays well solo, which I enjoy very much. But it also is very intriguing playing against somebody. It's quick, it's fun, and you can play a couple times without even thinking and watch a couple of hours go by. It is a good, solid, enjoyable game, and I really enjoy it. Adding Godzilla on the expansion and the little backstory, you know, Germany won the war, Japan's going to turn on them and they're bringing Godzilla with them. Count me in every single time. This is a great game. Paolo has done fantastic. The people at PSC, everything they touch lately to me is been gold, and this is a company that's on my radar, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for us for 2020. Until next time, go get Blitzkrieg. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. This will stay in your collection and be in your family picture for a lifetime. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon.